out of Chester, Virginia, sponsored by Barracks Motorsports, Kelly Samuels. On the outside pole, out of Chesterfield, Virginia, also a Barracks Motorsports sponsored machine, number 57, Curtis Barracks. Third on the inside second row, in car number 36G out of Gloucester, Virginia, in your Barnett's Engine Sports Collectibles of Virginia machine, Brendan Galloway. Starting fourth on the outside second row, car 99W. Out of Petersburg, Virginia, in your Skateaway Cedar Creek Racing Hamilton Race Cars sponsored machine, Chris Arnold. Inside row number 3, car number 99, out of Chesapeake, Virginia, in your Hubbard Racing sponsored machine, Charlie Hubbard. In 6th on the outside of row 3, in car number 51, out of Powhatan, Virginia, in your Barracks Racing sponsored machine, Joey Pulavoy. In 7th, in car 5W, out of Petersburg, Virginia, in your Skateaway Cedar Creek Racing Engines, Dan Arnold Construction, Hamilton Race Car sponsored machine, Dan Arnold. In 8th, car 04, out of King George, Virginia, in your Maxey's Towing, 04, Brian Maxey. In 9th, car number 71 out of Jetersville, Virginia, in your Harrison Motorsports machine, Paige Harrison. In 10th, car number 43 out of Gloucester, Virginia, Josh Harris. In 11th, car number 41 out of Mooresville, North Carolina, in your Three Mules Welding Chesapeake Bail Bonds, number 41, Travis LaRogue. In 12th, car number 21 out of Gloucester, Virginia, your International Communications Group Incorporated, number 21 machine of John Ferguson. In 13th, car number 28 out of Leonardtown, Maryland, in your Denny Manischke's Sun Excavating and Reed's Flooring, at number 28, Tony Quaid. In 14th, car 01 out of Powhatan, Virginia, in your Goblin Jarrett Construction, 01 of Francis Jarrell. In 14th out of Powhatan, Virginia, in your car 01 in your Village Bank 01, Francis Jarrell. 15th, car number 19 of Spotsylvania, Virginia, sponsored by Pitts Automotive and Lane Auto Parts, James Jesse. Starting 16th out of Maidens, Virginia, in your Cedar Creek Racing Engines, number 41X of Lance Grady. 17th in your 4J out of Mattaponi, Virginia, Hampton Pipe and Tobacco and Savage Racing, number 4J sponsored, Dave Savage. In 18th, in car number 15, out of Richmond, Virginia, in your Barracks Motorsports sponsored, number 15 machine, Aaron Harris. That, ladies and gentlemen, is your Budweiser Modifieds as they come out onto the racetrack. We told you we would mention something very special about Chandler Chevrolet, a proud supporter and sponsor out here at Virginia Motor Speedway. For the second year now, that is their truck that will lead the pack around as the pace truck, and it won't be all white for long, but that is exactly what your truck could look like if you got one from Chandler Chevrolet. That is a very beautiful Chevy Silverado crew cab, and that is our pace truck out here, altered only one way, and that's with the light on top. They can sell you one without the light. Budweiser Modifieds. Get louder. I know you can be louder than that. There you go. Thank you so much, guys. Let me tell you, they love that. We'll get better. This is just practice. We have 3 more of these to do. We have calculated, and you do lose 220 calories by doing this out here at Virginia Motor Speedway. I think it gives you 3 points on Weight Watchers. You can enjoy your cake or something. Off turn swinging 4, nice and slow, doubled up for the entire field. We're about ready to go green flag racing for the first time in the 2011 season. Ladies and gentlemen, your Budweiser Modifieds are underway here at Saluda. Already 3 wide down to the turn number 1 with Galloway to the inside. Brandon Galloway, car number 36G, trying to give the spot back. Now it's a cluster off turn number 2. They're 3 wide, jostling for positions. It's Dan Arnold to the inside of the racetrack. They're 4 wide in turn 3 and 4. Dan Arnold with contact with car 75 of Kelly Samuels. He'll be falling back a little bit more out of Chester, Virginia. And right now he's off the pole position. Joey Pulavoy dives to the inside. That's the car number 99 he's trying to get past. That's the 99W, I do believe, of Chris Arnold. Chris Arnold in second, Joey Pulavoy in third. Brandon Galloway has fallen back tremendously. Polovoy still trying to work that inside, and he gets it. Caution flag out of the racetrack that time. Caution flag that time by. The ones that are listening to us right now on the FM dial, so thank you very much for tuning in. Joey Polovoy was so impressive, worked the bottom of the racetrack, and let me tell you, from first on to fifth, their track out points are just absolutely incredible. They have such a great momentum, a great run off these corners, and we're about ready to go. Green flag racing once more. The green flag is back out. 2 laps on the board as we're underway. 25 laps for the completion. Down to turn number 1. Dan Arnold off the throttle a little bit. Maxi's going to drive down low. It's going to be Polovoy as well, giving pressure to second spot. They're 3 wide, almost down into turn number 3, trying to grab that third spot away. Brian Maxey falls back. Dan Arnold's right there trying to savor that bottom position. And I believe he was just trying to be in the same lane that Brian Maxey wanted to be in. It's going to be Chris Arnold up top, though. Chris Arnold drifted up the speedway, lost 2 spots. That's how close the top 5 is right now. Meanwhile, back up front, it's going to be Wayne Barrick's in car number 57, who now has pressure on the inside with Joey Polovoy. Polovoy with his right front tire right there on the left rear. Couldn't get enough down the front stretch, but nonetheless was right there in the apex of the corner. And I tell you, you've got a really strong battle for first. Chris Arnold falls so far back, he's not got anything for him up front right now. Polovoy's trying to take Dan Arnold on the high side, but Dan Arnold just flexing those muscles. Boy, I'm telling you, they're 3 wide now for second to the start-finish line. Polovoy back down to the inside of car 57 of Wayne Barracks. They're 3 wide for the lead. Brian Maxey squeezes Polovoy out of the first spot. Joey Polovoy now tries to bring his car down to the bottom side of the racetrack. We're 5 laps into 25. Unbelievable event. Unbelievable how this race has unfolded so far. Polovoy and Wayne Barracks are going at it. Wayne Barracks' car sit up, maybe fading just a little bit. Now they're 3 wide for second, and Brian Maxey is the car walking away with it. Dan Arnold drifts up the racetrack just slightly, a return swing at 4, almost collected Joey Polovoy, and Polovoy will back off just a little bit. I believe Joey Polovoy in that car 51 needs a caution, and it's Chris Arnold will bring his machine down to pit road with no power. That is a tough break for that car number 99 of Chris Arnold. As he brings it down to the attention of no one, he is just sitting on pit road. Tough break for him. Meanwhile, back on the racetrack, Brian Maxey is your leader. Dan Arnold getting pinched down to the bottom side of the racetrack by Aaron Harrison at car 15. Dan Arnold once again can't get past lap traffic. Brian Maxey walking away with it. Slower cars are really getting in the way of your second, third, and fourth place drivers. Doesn't look like Wayne Barracks had much issue. And you got to look out for car 36G of Galloway. I believe he may be coming back as well. Excellent race. Wow. Off turn 4 is your leader. That black machine with the white numbers, car 04, Brian Maxey. And even if you're watching the races, and meanwhile on the Speedway, it's going to be Savage in car 4J about to go 1 lap down. Even if you're watching the race right now, you got to look at Brian Maxey in that car 04. He has pulled out to a nice lead, but now the slower traffic is slowing him up. That's going to give Dan Arnold an opportunity to catch back up. But I tell you, with 11 laps on the board, we are approaching the halfway mark, which is, when they come back around, that's going to be your halfway mark right there. Even with halfway to go, I tell you what, Dan Arnold and Joey Polovoy and Wayne Barracks, they are praying for a caution right now. They're hoping that it doesn't happen to them, but they really do need that to catch back up to Brian Maxey, because I'm telling you, Maxey didn't have a strong car at the beginning of this event, came out of nowhere, passed him, and now is just walking away with it. It's really going to be if Brian Maxey can pick these slower cars off as they go a lap down. It's really going to depend on if he can pick them off one by one and cleanly, because Dan Arnold's right there in his rearview mirror as they dive down to turn 1. Your pole sitter of Kelly Samuels about to go 1 lap down on the back stretch. Car number 19 moving high to the Speedway. That's James Jesse going another lap down. Dan Arnold's right there on the back door of Brian Maxey. Maxey, your leader. This is about to heat up into something awesome off turn 4. Brian Maxey electing the high side of the racetrack. He splits them in the middle. That was nasty awesome. Right there in turns 1 and 2. Brian Maxey showing a little bit of style out there. But it's Dan Arnold that's sweating bullets right now trying to catch up to Brian Maxey. Still nobody has looked at the number 99 on pit road. He is just sitting there. So it looks like he is done right now for the event. Meanwhile, back at the racetrack, let's take you a little bit farther than second, even though it's heating up right now with Dan Arnold right there on the back door. Joey Pullavoy still running third in car 51. Wayne Barrick's still running fourth, but they're right there battling forward at a turn number 4 right now. Brandon Galloway, Paige Harrison, Anthony Quaid your lineup. Yellow flag is out. That's the car number 28 of Anthony Quaid, who was running 7th, bringing out the caution flag, and this just threw another wrench into the whole ordeal. Opportunity to try to get your leaders. Wayne Barracks also needed that caution because now he gets the opportunity to catch back up. Brian Maxey's going to have his hands full as they come back around to the green flag, and we are back underway. 100% adrenaline right now. You could not get any better than this. As they duke it out, Wayne Barracks almost ate the outside wall. He got into Joey Pullavoy in that car 51, shot up the racetrack, but saved it. He's now got Galloway right behind him that wants the position. Meanwhile, Quaid's going to make his way up through the pack in that orange number 28 off turn 4 right now. Brian Maxey in that car 04 just ran his fastest lap of the event, though. Now you've got Dan Arnold shaking in his boots. Wasn't expecting that. So Brian Maxey just kind of walking away now. Impressive. Must have been holding a little something back last time, or maybe his car's good on short runs and not long runs, because Dan Arnold, he's right there, and he's just about to be at the point where he could try to put some pressure on Brian Maxey. Meanwhile, Joey Pullavoy is third, Wayne Barracks fourth, Brandon Galloway in fifth. Meanwhile, off turn 4 right now, it's Brian Maxey. Couldn't really get the nice exit that he's used to off turn 4. It's probably because he knows that car 5W of Dan Arnold's right there, and with only about 1 car length separating first and second off turn 2. That's turning into a great little battle, and this is Brian Maxey's worst nightmare. A slow car in front of him, Aaron Harris, and that car number 15 didn't do him any favors last time. He's going to jump up to the high side of the slower traffic. Harris pulls up in front of Dan Arnold. Arnold's the wheel man trying to make it around. Meanwhile, it's going to be Joey Pullavoy coming off of turn number 2 this time. Wayne Barracks getting pressure from Galloway. Where did Booman come from there in that car number 36G? Brandon Booman Galloway in 36G makes his way around Wayne Barracks, and now we got the car number 71 of Paige Harrison right there in the loop as well. I got to say, I am a little impressed right now with Brian Maxey's performance. Not as a driver, but the car. I didn't think that he had it to walk away with it like this. Dan Arnold was showing so much strength earlier, right before that caution flag came out. So Brian Maxey, excellent job by that driver. Really hanging on right there. Right now, here he is, ladies and gentlemen, flying Brian Maxey. Let me tell you something. I gotta owe you an apology. I know you can't hear me up there, but I was saying that Dan Arnold probably had you right after that caution. You really stepped up your game. I'm very impressed. That was awesome.
Yeah, Dan's the top-notch racer out here. You base what you try to improve on every year off of your competition. Brett Hamilton, he's the man. He helped me out all this offseason. And we found something that's working for my driving style. Every driver's different. What we were using last year, it was good. It just wasn't for me. We found something that works for me, and I think this is a sign of good things to come. I really need to thank all my sponsors. They stuck behind me all year. Union Select, Parts Plus, Cam's Racing Engines, Anderson Farm, Snap-on Tools, Maxey's Towing.
I know it's a lot of them to try to get this car here.
Yes, absolutely. But Brett Hamilton, he's the heart and soul behind this chassis. Without him, I couldn't have done this. So I appreciate it a ton, brother. You're the man.
I tell you what, real quick, we got to go, but I did want to ask you, this being the first race, does this kind of put some pressure on, or does this kind of set the pace for the rest of the season? Because everybody knows that you want to be the man at the end of the year, but this is race number 1.
It's race number 1, but you always want to set the tempo high, and we'll just keep on trying to improve. In all honesty, the car wasn't to my liking. It was way too tight, so free it up and might be a little bit faster. So.
Excellent. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for your winner down here in Victory Lane, flying Brian Maxey.